Zinedine Zidane has left Real Madrid. He has resigned from nowhere. An impromptu press conference was called by him and he has resigned. Flav and Sam are here to talk about it now and who could be the next manager of Real Madrid. Who follows that? We'll get into that. But first of all, he did the press conference. People weren't aware of it. Often, if a new contract's signed for a manager, then they'll tell the media team so they can get social media stuff ready, but they didn't tell anyone. And he said this, I've taken the decision to not continue next year as Real Madrid coach. After 3 years, a change is needed. Something different, a different message. I know, it's a strange moment for everyone involved, but I think it's the right decision. That's what Zinedine decided to say. What a great mind, but not the best speaker. Could have said something a bit more poetic than that, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think winning 3 Champions League is as much poetry as he needs to as a Real Madrid manager.
Very true. Initial thoughts on him leaving?
I'm surprised. You know, he's just won 3 Champions League trophies. It's an amazing feat. You know, most players and managers won't even experience a Champions League final. They do it 3 on the bounce, albeit with Madrid. Do you know what? I thought you think it's the right decision for him. You know, sportsmen, whatever sport they're in, retiring or leaving on a high is such a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And it pretty much doesn't get any higher than this. And all right, it didn't perform in the league that well this year, but the first port of call for Real Madrid is Champions League and winning that, and he's done that. So I was surprised, but I think he's done the right thing. Do
you think this call is totally Zidane's, or do you think there's any other influences going, look mate, this has gone really well so far, but you've got an ageing team. I think it's fair to probably say a few of the superstars are getting a bit annoyed. Bale and Ronaldo making odd comments at the end of the Champions League final. Do you think part of it's not being pushed, but gently kind of going, maybe we need to change something now?
No, absolutely not. I mean, that is such a hard job. If you look at what happened when Del Bosque left Real Madrid, that one had the Galacticos and they were fierce. Yeah. They went that really long extended period of struggling with different managers, not getting the Champions League going up and down, with Barca going up with Guardiola. Zinedine Zidane will go down as one of the greatest ever Real Madrid managers, and he was there for 3 years.
Yeah, his Champions League record's right, isn't it?
There is not a season where he hasn't won the Champions League as a manager.
Right,
I mean, that is the best stat ever. I mean, you rarely see managers go out in the modern game on their own accord. It's like managers just wait to be sacked.
I think he hasn't been pushed.
You think he has been pushed?
I do.
I wonder.
No way.
Well, my reasoning for it would be that I don't. He's done a lot with a good group of players. His record at managing knockout competitions is fantastic, unbelievable. Obviously, he was so far behind Barcelona this year; they ran away with it.
17 points behind.
That might have been an issue, but I think wider is his player management, and we know how important star players are at Real Madrid. They're the be-all and end-all. The Galacticos is coined purely for that football club. They buy the best players in the world for the most amount of money. That's how they run their business. So I think, especially given that Ronaldo and Bale's comments, that perhaps those 2 players are more important to Perez than Zidane is, and he feels that perhaps Zidane isn't best placed to renegotiate the contracts and take Real Madrid up to the next level. Despite what he's done, from I can't criticise Zidane in any way. I feel they can replace him quite easily.
Do you really? Well, we'll get onto some names that being bandied about. Of course, this only happened literally a few minutes ago, so we haven't got official odds or anything like that. I feel, my view on it is that I think he's gone, this has gone really well. I'm going home. Yeah. I'm not going to play one more hand and lose one, because it just looks awesome, doesn't it? You walk away and you go, won it 3 times on a trot. I think that's pretty epic. And also, I don't know, the player management is something that I think there's been a few people that have spoken about how maybe in the league season, his ability to motivate players when it's November and you're playing away and it's cold, that kind of, those lulls in the season, I think there's been some talk about, is he a motivator for those players at those moments? But his management of Ronaldo, of all these Galacticos, as you say, has been brilliant. But again, it's been brilliant up till now. Again, I would go, I can understand why Zidane's gone, I don't need this shit.
Yeah.
I'm off.
If you're Zidane, right, you've won it 3 times in a row. Next year, if you won it again, that's cool. You've done it 4 times in a row, but you've already done it 3 times in a row. It's like it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah,
if he goes
exactly.
On, the only thing that could be a success for him next year is going to win the double, which is really, really difficult. And clearly, he's going to get lined up for the France job after the World Cup. Didier Deschamps will take them to the. Hopefully, they're going to a World Cup final like he did with the Euros. But
so that's a good question to ask. 'Cause the next step for him, where do you go? Where do you go
I think
after
that's the only place you go.
That is the only place, isn't it?
the only place you go.
You know, there are other big jobs, but it's got to be a job that's comparable to Real Madrid. And
Real Madrid is the biggest job in club football.
Yeah, well, there's Real Madrid. You got Bayern Munich. You know, there's PSG as well. You could see him go there one day, or Man City, somewhere like that. But those jobs aren't available.
Yeah.
So it feels like France. Yeah.
I think that's a good shout, Man City, in time. Maybe he has a little break and then goes there, because I think that is the thing as well with Real Madrid. I've heard journalists talk about it, and it does make sense. He's such a superstar. He gets that respect of those other superstars. He can't go to even like, I mean, you could maybe see, could you see him at Chelsea? I can maybe see that one, but he's got to really want it, and for him to have the hunger after winning it 3 times on the trot, it's going to be difficult. The only next step up is a World Cup or a Euros, isn't it?
Exactly. It's a weird, and I don't know what it is, and I'm not saying I have no foundation for this. But he doesn't seem that interested. He seems like he could walk away at any moment.
I just think that's his demeanour. I think you seen like he worked his way. I think he knew that there was
football. He could just think, you know what, I've done it. I've completed
it. Yeah, maybe.
Well, he basically has.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
I think the one thing that is his general demeanour, isn't it? Like you didn't doubt that he cared, especially when he headbutted someone when he was playing. But he did have that.
But that's because someone said something about his mum. Like everyone cares about that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, true. Let's talk about the possible replacements. So the names we've got here that have been bandied about: Pochettino, Wenger, Sarri, Conte. Let us know in the comments below who you think would be the right fit and who you think will go. 2 different questions. Flav. Pochettino. He's just signed a deal last week. He's fine, and he's safe.
Well, he's not going anywhere, is he?
Real Madrid get who they want. Ultimately, we know that.
We've seen it.
He signed the new contract to compensate Spurs for 5 years of Pochettino's contract, and he's on £160,000 a week. It would cost them an absolute fortune, and I'm not saying they wouldn't do it if they really wanted him.
And it would decimate you.
It would decimate me personally,
Sorry,
spiritually.
Spurs. But Spurs, it would kill Spurs.
Yeah, it would kill Spurs.
They would end.
All right, well, let's do another video about that. So Pochettino, I don't think will go, and apparently Marca reported in May. About a week ago. He has a clause in his contract that means that if he gets approached by Real Madrid or PSG, that he would be allowed to speak to them. I don't know if that's true. Marca are kind of
Levy is
bastions of bullshit.
Levy's a king businessman. Why would he possibly allow that clause? It's like the one clause you don't want.
Get him to. Yeah, that's true. But I think to get him to sign, that would be the idea. But Real Madrid's position is this. I think Pochettino is a very difficult conversation to have. Levy, they hate dealing with him. There's a special relationship still with Real Madrid, but you know he's a nightmare to deal with. Or you've got certain Mr. Wenger, who isn't tied to anybody, who costs nothing.
Take him. Take him. What do you think about Wenger?
You could see it happening. I mean, he's a man who's got vast experience, not so much experience in Europe, which is where they would want him to be, but exactly what you're saying there. It's from a financial perspective, it's a complete no-brainer. You've got one that's going to cost 40 million, one that's going to be free. And it depends what Real Madrid want to do now, because it was an impossible job, whoever replaced Fergie at United. Whoever replaces Zidane, it's already one of the hardest jobs in football, but you're following a man who's won back-to-back Champions Leagues.
That Champions League campaign is difficult, isn't it?
And then you've got to try and follow that on, and you've got to close a 17-point gap with Barca, who have still got Messi, still got Suarez.
And Paulinho.
Yeah, Paulinho as well. Don't forget the main man.
Conte, maybe. Sarri, maybe. But again, I wonder if the style of those 2 managers, maybe Conte would work a lot more than Sarri. Sarri, I can't see working.
I don't know too much about that, but Conte, I think, is a good fit.
Yeah.
They've got the perfect side to play in his style. You know, fast-paced, powerful, direct, counter-attacking football. He's suited to that, and he wins stuff. And that's all they give a shit about.
And Chelsea, I think, with the amount of money that they would have to pay him off to let him go, you could then, if Real Madrid come in, you can then go, okay, and that saves you some money there. Wenger has the gravitas to deal with these top players, but has his stock dropped so much that he's not going to get a job?
If you imagine Wenger had the opportunity to do what Zidane, well, a lesser extent. We won the FA Cup final with Arsenal. Everyone was saying, Wenger should leave now on a high. He didn't. He carried on. It turned sour. He left. Then the stock went down a little bit.
And the same would happen to Zidane sooner or later.
I just couldn't see a happy situation for Zidane carrying on next year in comparison to what he's already achieved at the club. And that's a big reason why Arsene Wenger's reign ended like that, because he achieved so much previously. It just didn't continue.
We know about Wenger's obsession with football, and part of the reason that he didn't leave earlier in the Arsenal job is that he doesn't see himself doing anything else other than managing football clubs. This is the golden opportunity.
If they offer it to him, he's 100% going to take it.
3 years, 1 La Liga, 3 Champions League, 1 Super Copa España, 2 FIFA Club World Cups, 2 UEFA Super Cups. But it's over. Zidane has left. He's resigned as Real Madrid manager. Who should be the next manager of Real Madrid? He takes over that mantle. Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe to Ball Street. Check out some of our other content. And we'll see you very soon.